Hi, I'm Belinda and welcome to Belinda's Baubles. Today is December 11th, 2025, and this is day 11 of Vlogmas. I hope you're having a good day. It's about 11:45 at night, so this episode is going to be a little late uploading. I try to upload midnight my time here in Fort Worth, Texas, but this will be a little late. I've been trying to think about what to talk to you guys about today because I've gotten very little knitting done today. It was a work day. I was running late getting to work this morning, and it's just been a day that went 100 miles an hour. I did do a little bit on Seaver's scarf downstairs while watching Broken Wood Mysteries. I'm kind of recapping that, but I just didn't really feel like doing much this evening. Hence, I've got my bed hair. It's been hat hair all day. I'm already in my pajamas. But what I did decide to do is a lot of other YouTubers, reading goes hand in hand a lot of times with crafts. And for me, it's usually watching TV. And I used to read quite a bit, especially in my 20s and early 30s. Then, of course, after having a child, it kind of dropped off for a while. I was just chasing after the child. And then once he went back to school and I was at home on my own for a while, I picked up reading again. Well, it had been a while because usually whenever I'm knitting or crocheting, I'm so busy with my hands, I don't want to flip something, and my eyes have trouble charting a little bit, going back and forth. So I do better watching or listening to TV. So I figured, what's another option? Because I used to have different subscriptions and everything, but that just got so expensive, or buying audiobooks got expensive. So what had been suggested to me was the Libby app. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but the Libby app is, I think it's pretty much around the world to a large degree. I know it's over in England and it's here, and I think up in Canada. It is based with your local library. So on the Libby app, I'm hooked up to a library card here in Fort Worth, and I can borrow books or audiobooks and listen or read them. So what I have been doing, and I just charted this back, it's now been 2 years, and I just listen to it sometimes at lunch, sometimes just going to and from work, and that's a 15-minute trip for me one way or the other. And whenever I'm driving, going on yarn crawl, things like that, I'm listening to a book. And it surprised me. It shows that I have borrowed over 50 books in the last 2 years. Going from, which for some people that's nothing, but for me, going from no book reading for a number of years to this was quite a bit of a difference. Even though, I am listening, yes. I'm not physically reading, but I'm getting the book. And I wanted to share with you some of the ones that really caught my eye and that are my favorites. I'm not going to go over all of them. Don't worry, this isn't going to be that long of a video. But I wanted to share with you some of these titles. And okay, murder mystery is my favorite thing. It really is. And sometimes true crime, but not always. But the ones, and I'll get on a series and I will go through an author and do a lot with that author, or I love following a character. And the latest series I've been doing is by Irina Shapiro. And she did a series of 5 books that were based in the 1800s. And I'm not going to, spoil these for you, but the reason that it caught my eye was her book number 3 in the series is called Murder at the Foundling Hospital. Well, a while ago, I made a baby vest that was based on a token left for a foundling in the 1700s, actually, at the Foundling Hospital. And this book is set, I think, in the late 1800s. Let's see if it tells me here. The only thing is that Libby App does not move around real well. Come on. All right, so I don't have the time here, but in these 5 books, it follows 2 main characters, Nurse Gemma Tate and a police inspector, Sebastian Bell. And they are our main characters that in the first one, they meet up and everything, and it kind of follows through. But there are 5 books, and I really enjoyed them. They're not graphic. There's not a ton of bad language in them or anything like that. So I really do like that. And it's was set in another time frame, but it was like, I say it's not graphic, but it's definitely not for kids. The first one is the Highgate Cemetery Murder, then Murder at Trader's Gate, Murder at the Foundling Hospital, Murder at the Orpheus Theater, Murder on Platform 4, and then Murder on the Prince Regent. So there were 6 books. And I really did enjoy that series. Another one that I've read recently is A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. Now, I just never would have read this if it had not been talked about. And I wasn't even in there for the conversation. It was on a Zoom, and I missed the Zoom because of work. I am a member of the Arya Bark podcast Patreons. And we were having a Zoom. I missed it. And then there was just a comment about this book. And I'm like, okay, excuse me, I missed something. What was it? And in A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson, this is just on the book jacket, okay? So it says, in an alternate London in 1923, one girl accidentally breaks the tenuous truce between dragons and humans in the sweeping debut and epic retelling of Bletchley Park, steeped in language, class, and forbidden romance. It says it's perfect for teen fans, but it wasn't too bad for some granny fans too. It was a long book, but it's Audible's most anticipated audiobook of 2025, and I'm already in line for the second one. And I never would have thought I would have enjoyed this, but part of it deals with Bletchley Park and code breakers, and I've always loved talk about, and I've watched the movies about Bletchley Park and everything. Okay, so I read a couple of books by Lisa Jewell. The first one that caught my eye is None of This is True. Because it was an instant New York Times bestseller, over 1 million copies sold. It says the unputdownable psychological thriller by New York Times bestselling author Lisa Jewell follows a woman who finds herself the subject of her own popular true crime podcast. Celebrating her 45th birthday at her local pub, popular podcaster Alex Summer crosses paths with an unassuming woman called Josie Fair. Josie, it turns out, is also celebrating her 45th birthday. They are, in fact, birthday twins. And it goes on, and this is definitely a psychological thriller. And even with the name, none of this is true, it was hard to tell what that was referring to fully. And it kept me wondering all the way to the end. This one was very dark in part and everything, but it was interesting. I could not put it down. I mean, there were a lot of times whenever I had this in my ear when I probably shouldn't have. And so then after this, I wanted to try one of her other ones, and it's called The Night She Disappeared. Her best thriller yet is about a young couple's disappearance on a gorgeous summer night and the mother who will never give up trying to find them. On a beautiful summer night in a charming English suburb. Are you getting a theme here? Okay, so whenever I want to escape, I escape to Great Britain or to Australia or to Canada. I escape out of the United States just because this is what I've always known. So most of the time, whenever I'm looking for a book to escape, a lot of them are based in other countries for me, which is probably why I listen to I Haven't Been Entirely Honest with You by Miranda Hart. I am a big Miranda Hart fan. And so, but then I went over to Betty Heichtman. Now, if you want a fluffy yarn shop, whodunit, Gone with the Wool. It was the fourth in the series, and I've read, I don't know how many of hers I've read now. Let's see if it'll show me the series. And this one's set in California, another country. At least that's what Texans think. Let's see here. I'm sitting here pushing buttons and nothing is moving on my, and it works better on my phone, but you guys are on my phone at the moment. Well, look up Betty Heichtman. I'll put a list here of the series, and I've enjoyed all of them. Every once in a while, I like to get onto a fluffy yarn shop murder, such Debbie Malcolmer actually has a couple of them, A Good Yarn and The Shop on Blossom Street. This is a knitting chick flick series with a little spies thrown in, alter egos, friends group. It's based around a knitting group. Some of them have been friends for years. Some of them came on later. They're all pretty much professional women at some point in time. And romance thrown in. So it's a chick lit knitting mystery series that was just so much fun. It really was. Okay, so this is by Penny Reid, R-E-I-D. And let's see, there were 7? Yeah, looks like 7 books in this series. So I really did have fun going through all of them. And well, there was one that, there are a few that are the 1.5s and stuff like that adds in, but the first one is called Neanderthal Seeks Human. Friends Without Benefits, Neanderthal Marries Human, Love Hacked, Beauty and the Mustache, Happily Ever Ninja. Doesn't show me number 6. I don't know where number 6 went. Marriage of Inconvenience. It's not showing me number 6, so I don't know where it went. that may have been one that wasn't available. I may have had to go over and actually read it somewhere else. Some of these were not that good. Oh, okay. So this one was really interesting. The Island of Sea Women. This would have been recommended by someone else. It's by Lisa C. A mesmerizing new historical novel, according to Oprah Magazine. Best-selling author of The Tea Girl of Hummingbird Lane, about female friendship and devastating family secrets on a small Korean island. It was, set around World War II. It's about these, and it starts with these two girls being very young, and it goes through their life and their story, and it is amazing that what these women, because it's based on what these Korean women did as far as to support their families and to take care of their families. And it was very dangerous doing all this deep sea diving to be able to pull up different things off out of the ocean that they made money from. And it was just, I definitely recommend that one. I cried, I laughed at times, and I learned a lot about other cultures and other times. Then there is The Last One. It's got a different name. It's called The Last One in the United States, but I think it's got a different name somewhere else, but it's by Will Dean. I think over in the UK it has a different name. And it says an unputdownable locked room thriller about family trust and survival from the acclaimed author of Firstborn, which I haven't read that one. And it was something I never saw coming. Can't really say more than that. Just, I never saw it coming. If you want a book that it just keeps you guessing till the end, that's it. Something kind of fun for a sci-fi fan like me is Fan Fiction by Brent Spiner. He sets this book as a bit of a thriller on the set of Star Trek Next Generation. It was interesting. Then there is The Rose Code by Kate Quinn. And this goes back to Bletchley Park. And so and the Enigma Code Breakers. I listened to Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing by Matthew Perry. And I actually read this the week after he died. I started it then. It was on my list already. And just the timing of it and everything. And at the very beginning, and he's reading this, he talks about he shouldn't be alive. And he had just died. It was kind of freaky, but he is it's sad and interesting all at the same time. And then listening to Making It So by Patrick Stewart. Can you tell I'm a Star Trek fan? I'm definitely a Trekkie. And that was really interesting. I had absolutely no idea of his full background, the childhood he had, and how he got into acting and how he fought to get there. It's a really good read. There's The Unheard Witness. I said I wasn't going to do this for very long, but I've gotten kind of caught up in this myself. The Unheard Witness, Joe Scott Coe is who wrote this. And it is about, this one is set here in Texas. And it's the life and death of Kathy Leisner Whitman. And she was killed by her husband, Charles Whitman, in the University of Texas shooting in 1966 in Austin. And what had caught my eye on this was this happened the month I was born. I wasn't born here in Texas. But I was 6 weeks old when I came here to Texas. So all of this was going on right around the time I was born, right around the time I first came to Texas as a baby and everything. And her parents had asked that her letters and her correspondence be kept with the attorney and locked up until after they had passed away. And so after they had passed away, all this was brought out. And it is telling the story where everyone thinks about this mass shooting and all these other people that her husband shot. But he killed her first. And it gives a glimpse from her point of view of her life and what she went through and meeting her husband and everything that happened and transpired in the build up and lead up to this tragic event. Like I said, sometimes it's true crime I get into and just kind of finding out a little bit. Okay. So this one is the last one. And this is the first book that I actually got from Libby. It's called I'll Be Gone in the Dark. One Woman's Obsessive Search for the Golden State Killer. And it's the basis for a major 6-part HBO documentary series. Check it out. It is well worth it. I'll Be Gone in the Dark. And just going in and finding how someone tracks down and researches and ends up finding information that the police didn't. It was very interesting. But I will, like I said, this video will have gone up late because I do want to put up some pictures here to show you what I'm looking at. But that's been my reading journey highlights. And maybe that will give you something that will interest you. Now, if there's anything that you've been reading lately that really is something that you want to share with the rest of us, please do comment down below and let us know. Add to this reading journey for all of us, because we do need something to go along with the yarn, right? It's not just reading patterns. Okay, so Scrappy Advent. Move on to happier times here. Sam always tells me he's terrified to close his eyes at night. I wonder why. I think the guys need to be in a club. What do you think? Ooh, this one's different than what we've had. So it's got like a creamy yellow, beige base, and then all these pastels. If you can see that. Shadow it a little bit. Oh. I've got some blues and purples and pinks. Oh, so pretty. Okay. And And I have Andy's. Ooh. And some heart stitch markers. Ooh. Chocolate. My friend is in Wisconsin. If you haven't seen this, and this is Andy's, is in Wisconsin. So this is our Scrappy Advent. Go back a few videos. I show what I sent her if this is one of your first ones to see. Or join me on the rest of my journey. All right, so I've got some chocolate back here. And 11, right? It's still the 11th, isn't it? It's probably the 12th. Oh, yeah. Technically, it's the 12th. And this does not want to open. Well, come on. That's a jip. Oh, it's because that's number 4. Sorry. 11's over here. Maybe why it's empty. All right, there we go. I have a green one. So this is a solid milk chocolate ball. I think I need to go to bed. But I'll edit this real quick before I go to bed. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to leave you here with a little bit of video for the rest of Grapevine. I still have Sam's wanting to go back because he wasn't able to walk around much. Bill and I mainly did our walking, and now Sam wants to go see it. And because I was recording in where the blown glass is, back in the back they do classes, and you can go and pay and make your own blown glass and with their assistance. But they have all this seating and everything, so you can sit back there and watch them as they're working on these projects. And I did all this great video. Somehow I was trying to keep out of people's way. It was very busy. And I clicked on a button, and so I have a lot of video of my chin instead of all this really great other stuff. So I will just do this for you. Yeah, I'm going to go back and see it again. I'm going to take Sam with me, and I will take you guys with me this time. So you got another time in Grapevine. It is the Christmas capital of Texas. All right, you have a good day, and I will see you in just a few hours.